Want to learn Om chanting, we're going to use this. We're going to talk about the phases. There are so many levels to Om chanting, and we'll understand what they are. So I will give you all an example. Okay. So when we do Om chanting, okay? So in the first phase of Om chanting, we are just doing the practice. So you're chanting for about 20 minutes. You don't have to chant for 20 minutes. You can do like yoga and Nadi Shuddhi and stuff like that. So I'd say Surya Namaskar for 5 minutes, Nadi Shuddhi for 5 minutes, and then Om chanting for about 10 minutes. Twice a day for 10 years. So in phase number 1, we're just doing it. We're just making the sound. Phase 2, pay attention to vibration. So what you will notice is a vibration in your body. And this is where it's useful to maximize the vibration. So I'll give you all an example, okay? So, okay? Maximize the vibration. And what we want to do is feel the vibration in your body. We're focusing on feeling, not sound. Step number 3, notice the localization of vibration. Okay? So what you will notice is when I say, I'm going to give you all the answers now, but if you don't, you have to discover this on your own. But well, just to illustrate one technique, okay? So when you chant you will notice the vibration is maximal around your navel. In the vibration is between the throat and the chest. And then in the vibration is going to be somewhere between your chin and the top of your head. So as you chant Om, you will notice an ascending vibration that starts at your navel and goes all the way to the top. And so when we're meditating, we're not just chanting anymore. We are focusing on the movement of vibration. I guess this is step 4, right? So first you notice it in the 3 areas. And then this is why it takes so long, because you need the ability to detect the differences. And then you will notice it traveling up. So each Om chanting is like a vibrational energy that is ascending in your body. Now you will notice all kinds of interesting things. So now what we want to do is you will notice that this vibration is lurchy or not smooth. This is a natural thing that you'll discover. It'll feel off at some point. You're like, this doesn't feel right. In the same way that when you sit uncomfortably in a chair, the chair feels uncomfortable, the Om vibration will feel off. Now we get to the hard stuff. This stuff may take a couple months, but is honestly easy sauce. So now we have to make the perfect vibration. This is very difficult to do. To chant Om in a way where each part of the Om, the vibratory, so you're not going to be able to hear it, or you can probably hear it too, but it's hard to do on the hearing level, to feel the ascent of the vibration to be smooth and without a jerk. So I'll give you all just one example of something that will mess up your Om vibration, which is a locked jaw. So when I chant Om, now I want y'all to pay attention. So I want y'all to pay attention to your jaw. When you go from you'll notice that at some point you go from you'll notice a shift in the locking of your jaw. You move modally from one movement to another movement. To make that smooth is possible, but is difficult. And then what you will notice is to avoid the locked jaw, you require relaxation of the jaw. So now I'm chanting, but all of my attention is in relaxation of the jaw to avoid that bump. Okay? There's more. We haven't even gotten to the fun stuff yet. Okay? So now we make a perfect vibration from bottom to top. This will take probably months, if not years of practice to be able to do. Let's say months. I think this is still months. All right? So now you have a perfect vibration. And then we get to the fun stuff. So then what we do is decrease the volume and vibration. So once we have tuned ourselves to the perfect Om, we start to slowly decrease the vibration. And the way that this works is as you do this vibration, you will start to notice something else. So you paid attention to the locked jaw. You have an even amount of breath with ah, ooh, and So that's another goal. So when we're talking about the perfect vibration, locked jaw is 1. Even seconds of A, U, and M. And then even beyond that, we have 5.2, which is the right level of silence between rounds. You will know what the right level of silence is. You have to find the right level of silence. And then something cool will happen. So this may be around the time that you get your first weird spiritual experience. So in my case, for example, after I was done with the practice, I'll just share this today, just to give you all an example. I noticed a pair of eyes. So I had my eyes closed, and I noticed a pair of eyes floating to the surface that were looking back at me. So when you close your eyes, you have like a screen in front of you, okay? And then what I noticed is that there's like a pair of eyes that are like looking at me, and I had never seen it before, and it freaked me the fuck out. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what people are talking about, right? So like, they're looking back. I'm doing something, and something is noticing and is looking at me. Then what happens is we will decrease. So you'll notice these weird things. As you do this, you will sort of find the perfect vibration, and then you will start to feel something else. And then what happens is you will notice that there's something else that you're feeling. There's another sensation that is not vibratory, which if the human body is like this, let's say I'm sitting cross-legged, okay? And I'm in a meditative posture. So the vibration goes up like this, but then what you'll start to notice is that there is like this column within you. And the column is like, it's just a feeling. And then what happens is in order to enhance the sensation of the column, in order to be able to detect the column, you will notice that the vibration interferes with your ability to detect the column. And so then what happens is you need to make the vibration smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then as you notice that this vibration becomes smaller, so then we're going to chant Om very quietly. Then you will notice the column more and more and more. And you will start to observe a non-physical structure. This is Sushumna. This is the channel through which your Kundalini Shakti rises. And then you will get to the phase, we're going to stop there, but then eventually what will start to happen is within Sushumna, you will notice an upward energy. But it is not physical, it is not vibration. The other thing that will happen is when we meditate, let's say I'm sitting like this, my arms are like this, okay? What you will notice is that the vibration that you feel starts at the front of your body, but as you practice more, it'll move towards the back. And the quieter that you'll also notice that Sushumna is back here. There's something posterior to the vibration. The vibration will be at the very front of your body. So Sushumna is posterior. And the more quiet you become with your Om chanting, the more you will detect Sushumna in the back. And then you will notice the upward movement there. And this will take at least, I would say, between 1 and 3 years. At least. If you do this practice only. And then along the way, stuff will happen. You will see things in the Chidakash. 100%. Actually, I don't know if it's 100%. I'm confident that this will happen. I don't think I'm unique. But this is the level of meditation that no one talks to you about. People don't, and the other problem is that the people who do talk about it are not trained in science. So I think they have difficulty like breaking it down. Right? So maybe they're good at it, but this is what I've seen. So like when I read texts about the esoteric forms of meditation, people don't break it down into these stages and stuff like that. I just haven't seen that. Maybe someone's doing it. How does this relate to Kundalini? This is the discovery of Kundalini Yoga. This is the opening door, and this is the beginning and the end of Kundalini Yoga. It is a bit scary. It's not a bit scary. It's very scary. This will completely change the way that you live your life. Because you will discover, why are they vegetarian? Why are they celibate? They even control the nature of violence in their mind. You don't think negative thoughts, right? You train your mind to not even think negatively about someone else. Why do they avoid all psychoactive substances? Not only all psychoactive substances, they have a very specific diet. It's not just vegetarian, where you're eating this highly processed pea protein, whatever the fuck. They're eating very specific foods, low amounts of grains. Because they've discovered all this stuff about gut microbiome. Because in order to attain these states of mind, you need a mind that operates in a very specific way, biologically. You need a very specific pH, right? So a lot of these practices, so there are some practices that I've done that you take 1 breath every 6 to 8 minutes. Other practices, you take 240 breaths a minute. What's going on here? It's changing our we're inducing respiratory acidosis and respiratory alkalosis. When we induce respiratory acidosis and respiratory alkalosis, it changes the function of our brain. And then they eat very specific things. And I'm telling you, when you all start operating at this level, you will never feel Sushumna. The most dangerous, insidious thing is that it'll grow my ego. Because anytime I say something, I did this, It grows the ego. I have to deal with that later. So this is like meditators don't, this is the problem, right? It's like meditators we don't talk about these experiences, and for good reason. And when you meet another real meditator, you will know. They will know. You guys can tell. You know when someone is spiritually developed. You learn how to detect it, and they can see it in you. And that's enough.